All right, Shane, tell me
That
something.
was
What
there.
sets off the metal detectors first? so,
Uh, the shiny keys in my pocket.
so is this your first time watching this movie?
Yeah, it's first time to see Die Hard too.
Oh, really? What'd you think of it? I mean, like this is a dated movie, with pages and
Yeah, this was a dated movie. It's way back in the 90s. Sorry, I was going to say 60s, but yeah, it's
what's
way
it?
back in the 90s, early
1990.
90s.
Yes. What'd you think? How'd you
It's
compare this to the first
a
one?
it's a Hollywood action. It's a Hollywood action.
Uh,
Oh, I don't like it. The first one's better.
the first one is better, so this one is not blowing up your skirt at all either.
No, the first one's better.
Hmm.
No, this one's not blowing my skirt
Well,
up
the
at
first one
all.
is better, but then
It's not awful. It's just
it's still a good movie. I thought.
this
I
one
thought it was
is
pretty
this
good.
one. Like I said, this is a Hollywood. This was it's a Hollywood action movie.
Uh, would you rate it better than some of the other actions movie you've seen? Let me think. We haven't covered a lot of action movies on
Mm,
here except for
But
Die
yeah,
Hard.
you got to name. You got to give me. Yeah, we didn't already do action movies. You got to give me. Got to give me some. I mean, come on. The movie is kind of. The movie's okay. The stupidest. I mean, the movie's pretty good for me until they blow the airplane up. When he
Oh,
blows the airplane up, I was like, "What? That's just stupid. That was so stupid."
okay. Oh, so let's stop right there. When you say blow the
It's
airplane
funny.
up, okay?
I mean,
And I'm thinking like,
it's a
so
little silly. It's a little silly.
sometimes you mention Mythbusters on here, and I'm thinking like, well, when I was a kid, right? Well, I guess yeah, when I was a kid watching this, I thought like, whoa, that's pretty cool. But now, realistically, scientifically, I don't think that's how it's gonna work, right? I mean, like, sure, the gasoline is leaking, the fire on the ground definitely, because it's just like a
I mean,
trail of gasoline. But would
I
it
mean, you
catch
already
up
know it when
there?
he pulls the deal. Yeah, but
But yeah,
it's a
what?
stretch. That's too much of a stretch for me. I mean, I can get it. I would laugh if they blew up a car doing that and stuff, but I'm like a jet. I'm like, what?
Oh, so hold on, I do
Oh,
have a
jet.
science question for you. So if
It
the
was crazy.
fire go into the big gas tank or
Oh,
fuel
I'm not a
tank,
scientist.
oh, you wouldn't think it blows up. That's my question. That's what my question was too when I
For what?
rewatched it. Like
No, but are we looking for an airplane? I mean, yeah, I think jet fuel is way different than gasoline, dude.
oh, so it might not blow it up. It would just catch on fire. I mean, I don't either. I'm that's why
Jet
I
fuel,
need
I think, is more
Mythbusters.
flammable.
What is more flammable?
Yeah, well, that's.
Oh,
I'm
the
sure
jet
jet
flame,
fuel is
yeah.
more flammable than gasoline.
But so you're
I
saying
don't
that if
know.
you
I just still even. But come on, it's a jumbo jet. It's pouring out that air. Who cares? I just say that's just the silliest thing on there.
oh, so hey, you know what? Now that you got my mind intrigued, right? So if I couldn't able to, I wouldn't be able to do that to a fully fueled gasoline car. If I throw like a lit
I don't
match in
know.
there,
I
so it
would.
won't blow up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I'd take one of your cars out there and do it and see.
oh, okay. I
Tell,
just wanted your opinion. Like, yeah, I
tell
think
the
it would
lady.
blow up. Who's gonna prove me wrong? Or no one's gonna waste that time and energy just to like, hey, let's try this real quick. Stuff a rag
Well,
in there.
I think if I know if you shoot I know if you shoot the gas tank, it won't blow up.
If you shoot a gas tank, it won't blow up. So,
If you shoot a gas tank, it won't blow up. That was on That was on MythBusters.
oh, it was. Oh, tell me about that. So, because nothing is, so it's kind of like the propane
Well,
tank,
go
right?
watch it.
I mean, like, so if I shoot a bullet at a propane tank, it won't blow up either because the propane
I
tank
don't
is built for
know.
that, right? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, but the
From your
problem is the
experience,
spark from a shooting a gas tank won't blow up a car. I've never shot a car.
I don't know. Shooting a gas tank won't
I
blow up
don't
a
have that kind of
car,
experience.
even if it's
Okay.
fully fueled. Okay. I mean, I got like,
Well, cars cost too. A car the car costs too much to be shooting at. Okay, so
mm.
I don't kind of have those resources.
So even though this movie came out in 1990, they
But
still
no,
have
I
that
just
80s logic to it because it's writing the tail end of the 80s action
what
movies.
we've already done a lot. Hey, we've already done a lot of 90 movies. Okay, there wasn't
Yeah.
that much logic in the 90s either.
That's very true.
And if you watch the news nowadays, there's not very much logic go nowadays. So I guess
So
everything would be okay.
since we got on started on that, right? I mean, since they had this at the airport, now I have been thinking like, well, you know what? Even since a kid, I didn't know how any of that worked. Even with the radio and stuff, with the beep 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 thing, where like, hey, I don't know if that's true. Like, the towers give off a signal, so when the planes go by, they hear that beep, like, oh, we're close to that beacon, so we're close to the airplane. But they use that, and I'm surprised at what are they? They're like a bunch of army people that just want to make money. They're just trying to mercenaries, right? And one of my favorite lines, because it reminds me of that movie, The Rock. What did they say? Hold on, I'm gonna find it. I gotta find it. Let's see. It was about the general. What did he say? It was the general guy, the colonel.
He said the general guy, the colonel.
He said the date
Which
of
colonel guy.
The one that was that plays Death from Bill and Ted.
Okay, I'm sorry, ass.
I mean, have you seen him in another movie?
Who? You talking about William Sadler?
Is that his name? Yeah, Colonel Stewart.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh, I didn't write it down.
Actually, there. The funny thing. There was a lot of actors in here. Terminator. Remember Terminator?
Oh, Robert Patrick is in this. Yes. John Leguizamo.
Hey, John Leguizamo's in here.
He didn't have any lines though. I think they did, but then they cut out.
Yeah, they barely did. I mean, they were just hardly known. Oh. Plus, I mean, you don't watch Star Trek or Deep Space Nine. Mm-hmm. The pilot for the British airplane that crashed.
Yes, he was in Star Trek. He was one of the captains, right? I remember. I seen him.
Well, he did the transporter room on The Next Generation, but yeah, he was like an chief engineer on Deep Space Nine.
Oh, but then I also he looks like John C. Reilly to me just a little bit, because the hair. Oh, yeah. I found my line. Treason is only a matter of dates. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So now, I guess.
Plus, we got Carl Winslow was in this movie.
Oh, Carl Winslow was more of a cameo role in this one, so that way they could have him.
Yeah, but he appeared. He appeared. Okay.
And I did like. I thought the writing was pretty good.
Plus,
science
plus
logic
you got
aside.
Dennis Franz.
Yes,
what's
Franz.
NYPD Blue?
Yes,
Remember?
I thought it was cool. Like, I didn't know the time period was NYPD Blue was actually, I guess, back in the early 90s.
I don't think it was. Yeah. I think it was later on after this.
Oh, it was after
this. Was before that.
Yeah, I recognize Dennis Franz. I think it's because I didn't see Die Hard 2 until after it was released. I believe. It's probably I watched it on TV with the edited stuff.
You're in luck because I didn't see Die Hard until just now, like
Die
today.
Hard 2. Well, you also didn't see the first one until we talked about it like a year ago.
Yeah,
right?
just last year I saw it before Christmas last year, and I saw this one before Christmas this year, I bet next year we probably watch number 3. So
the next one we could do in a
still
summer.
The best one I ever seen is 4.
It's the fourth one. Best one. Actually, the next one is pretty good too.
The fourth one.
Because
I don't know. I may watch the fourth one and then not like it again. I may go, well, I don't know what I was watching.
You know what? Even at that time was
don't ruin it.
Oh no!
Wait till next year to figure out what.
I was just saying the third one has Jeremy Irons and Samuel L. Jackson.
So that's what I told you. Don't ruin you. No, never mind. You just ruined it for me
by telling you who's in the movie. Like if I say Bruce Willis is in the third one too.
Yes, you did. That would ruin it for me too. I got to figure he was in there. You didn't have to tell me who the guest stars were, because that's probably the only going to be the greatest thing of the movie.
Guest stars.
I bet you it takes place during Christmas too,
huh? Sure. This one took place during Christmas, so this is a different Christmas movie. Just like Batman Returns.
This is another. Yeah, but first Batman wasn't on Christmas. Just the second Batman.
The second, yes, the Batman Returns.
So basically, Die Hard's is a Christmas movie series of movies.
And I don't know. So the first Die Hard, and this one was based on a book. well, this one's based on books.
This was based on a book.
Yeah, I think it's called 58 Minutes. It's
Yeah.
because the whole ordeal took
it says in the
58
credits.
minutes. Yeah. Oh, it did say in the credits.
Oh,
And then also, well, this movie didn't copy entirely. He had more than 58 minutes because
this book took longer. This book,
hours.
because several times they tell because several times the airplane like, oh, this plane will land in 3 hours, and then another plane's like, oh, they got 90 minutes of fuel, and then the timing was wrong in some of them because 90 minutes of fuel, and all of a sudden the plane's about to run out of fuel. I'm like, yeah,
hey,
but
you know what?
The other plane was going to land in 58 minutes. Hey,
So-
the big surprise though, this movie had a surprise for me. I didn't get it, but it did question it.
What is it?
And I thought the question was mistaken for.
Okay.
When the army guys they call the army in, special forces, blah blah blah, that come kill these bad guys. They turn out to be bad guys too.
Yes. Oh, did it surprise you? That was a
surprise. But the funny thing is, it shows them when they're going to the deal, and I thought they made a mistake because it shows that guy load that gun with the blue tape on his
the blanks. Yeah.
Which I thought, well, is people in Hollywood stupid? Because that means blanks or dummy browns.
So they did that for us. See, I didn't know that. So when I was a kid, I didn't know that.
They put it in there, but I thought they messed up because they put that on there. I was like, why would you do that? Why would you put blue tape on your deal? Because that means dummy round.
I didn't know that.
And then those guys get out and they're shooting, and then when it turns them, they double cross. I was like, oh, that's part of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought they made a mistake.
So when you first saw it, was it blue or red? I think I wrote it down, but whatever it was, they showed that tape.
Well, it shows him in the truck, and when he's in the truck, he puts the blue rounds in his gun, and then all those other guys in there put those blue things on their guns, and I thought, what's that mean? Because I mean, normally it means dummy rounds, but then it finds out it does mean that.
So now this is where I bring up that thing. Well, this is different when we watch it when we were younger, right? Now opposed to watch it when we're a lot older. Now, like with that logic, like this is what they did in Hollywood. I bet you they did that on purpose in this movie because they knew they've been doing that for a long time.
They did do it on purpose in this movie. Is what I just said. I thought they made a mistake though.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but you wouldn't have known that when you were younger, though.
I would have known it a little bit when I was younger.
Yeah, so that was still a good twist, though.
Because I was interested in that kind of stuff.
But that was a good twist, though. Like you thought they were on the side, and then like, oh, they're all on the same team together.
I thought they were the bad guys, yeah.
Yeah, because well, I know every time because I still remember this movie very well, like how it ends and everything.
But also the funny thing though is it's the 90s, and of course they land in the helicopter. I hate when they do military stuff in certain deals and they don't have the support of the military because they always come in with outdated military equipment and stuff. I'm like, they don't use those helicopters no more.
Well, when you say 90s, this movie came out in 1990. I wouldn't say it's not like a 92. I mean, I wouldn't know either, like the outdated technology of that time.
I did, but I'm sitting there and I'm watching the outdated technology on it. I'm like, why do they got that?
So it makes you mad a little bit.
It's just like, well, that the military didn't want anything to do with it because normally they have if you have the military support, you have the updated stuff that they use in the military instead of surplus military stuff.
Well, I thought they would be careful about that too, so that way that you can't tell what the military are using just from watching a movie. I mean, I don't know about that stuff.
No, the military likes that because they need it for support.
Oh, like it's like a free advertisement.
Yeah, like Top Gun,
right?
Top Gun. Yeah, Top Gun.
Top Gun is
they got a lot of people. They got a lot of people join the military because of Top Gun.
Yes,
lots of people do. If a good military movie, and they got to have people join the military, you don't have a military. You can't make you join the military because it's the United States.
Very good.
Other countries, you got to join the military. You have no choice.
So one thing
you got to have a good movie here.
So one thing I really like this movie, right? And I'm not saying this movie is bad, and I don't think you're saying that movie is bad. It's just
I'm not saying the movie's bad. It's just
because I thought the writing was pretty good, like the tie-in with the extra reporter. Dick Peck is back in this one.
Yeah, he's back. I thought it was weird. He just kind of shows up. It is kind of weird.
That was weird for me.
See, that's the problem. You can't keep doing movies like this though, because I mean, by the third one, it's like, how's all this just keep happening?
Because not the third one. We don't have to jump into that. But even in the second one, right?
Well, I'm not. I'm saying the second one pretty much.
Like they were about to land because they are at that Dulles Airport. Suddenly you see Peck, but he's being kicked out of first class a while back. So they didn't see each other until like, oh, we're about to land. And then they sat pretty close to each other. like
But you
within
gotta remember,
eyesight. I gotta remember
but
what.
remember the flight wasn't that long anyways. It's like less than 5 hours. Remember, because the wife asks, she goes, "Isn't this flight was only supposed to last 5 hours?
Oh
Now it's
yeah.
a little past that. Or we're going to run out of fuel."
Oh, I thought about that too, but I guess
Which,
because
think about it, that's a pretty big airplane for a 5 hour flight.
it is right because they have the middle rows. It's yes.
That's a huge airplane
Yeah, it is
for
a
a
huge
5 hour
airplane.
flight. I mean, here's the funny thing: the British airplane,
Yeah.
it was a tiny little airplane.
Was it?
It was a little bitty plane. Yeah, compared to those planes, that British plane was a little plane, and it came all the way across the ocean with a bunch of British people.
Oh, that's right. That British plane. Yes.
So man, I'm
Oh,
thinking,
that's good attention to detail. But
because
you always
because
have that.
well, that's an airplane that you'd normally fly around in the United States for like a few hours, and that other plane would be what you'd fly overseas.
Man, look
Isn't
at
that kind
you
of weird?
trying to be all technical in
Oh,
these
it's all right. I just
80s,
saying the
late
same thing with
80s
the
action
well, it's the
movie.
same thing. It's the same thing with the military plane. You know, when they
Oh,
request
that's
an
a small
airplane,
plane too.
they
Yeah.
get they request a
What?
Boeing 747, the biggest airplane. It's bigger than the one the wife is on.
Right. But
So
then,
the military guys are on one of the biggest planes.
yeah, but the way they shot the inside, it looks like really small and narrow. Like four seats
Oh, well,
on one side and four
they
seats.
were setting up in like the third level of that airplane.
Oh, okay.
All those military guys, they're set up the third level of the airplane. It's a huge airplane.
You know, I'm so surprised on
That guy got a plane bigger than the military plane that he was brought in on.
oh,
And isn't
well,
it kind of weird that all of a sudden this guy can just fly an airplane? He could fly huge airplanes. I could understand military guys maybe fly a little airplane. This guy, this general, he's flying these big, gigantic airliners. But I guess it doesn't really take much.
well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how
I
much.
don't either.
I
No,
thought
it's not.
I mean I understand like maybe some colonels are major, like maybe the general. It just depends
Why
on the
would he
individual,
really?
right? Like, hey, this
I
general
mean,
doesn't
come
know how
on.
to fly.
Well,
This
here's
one
the funny
does.
thing. It's like those guys, those special force guys. But again, those military guys, they would have to train to do air traffic controller. They were Army Special Forces guys. They weren't in the Air Force. They weren't members of the air. I mean, they didn't do airplane stuff. And all of a sudden, they're like, "Hey, let's set up a whole command center. We are going to run a control tower for airlines and say all the proper things." They would have trained for that for years.
Wow, look at you picking this movie apart. I'm gonna
Oh,
hate
I'll
you.
pick this movie apart because you know what really annoyed me? Or really annoyed me is when that military plane with the president lands. You know they're
Yeah.
going to arrest it. John McClane goes out there and he fights. It's awesome.
Yeah.
He fights. He punches that guy. I love it. And then of course, here comes the military guys, shoot up the airplane, put hand grenades in it. Of course, he shoots out an ejection seat, which maybe I didn't think those planes had ejection seats, but they probably did.
Well,
Okay,
just for safety, right? Yeah.
but that's okay. I don't have a problem with that either because he shot up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of planes. I wanted to go ahead and tell you, some big giant airplanes usually don't have
Ejection?
ejection seats. So
Really?
kind of
I'm not. No, it's kind of like making a car that doesn't have a seatbelt after a certain year. You know.
okay. Well, I'm going to
But
tell
because
you,
hold on, but
when
before you
when
before
when
you go on, because like the point you brought up, right? I want to talk about that first because when you say like,
they're
oh,
not
some airplanes
fighter
they don't have ejector seats, but then what happens if the pilot goes into like in some kind of air trouble, right? And he has to eject. Are you saying that those pilots would have
He
to?
can't eject. They cannot eject.
So they have to.
Military, mainly only military fighter aircraft have ejector seats.
Yeah, but that's not a military. Wait, was it a
Ones that will
military
go.
aircraft?
Ones that will go. That's not a combat airplane though.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
It's a cargo plane. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you,
okay.
and you're not. That's
Oh,
telling
sorry.
you
Go
what
ahead.
it
Go
is.
ahead. Go ahead. I apologize.
Okay, yeah, I'm not telling you that when you fly on an airliner, you notice those pilots in your plane don't have ejector seats.
Oh,
You follow me
yes.
now?
Yes, I
Yeah, like
do.
a
You know,
B-1
I never
bomber,
thought about that.
ejection seats.
I never thought
Stealth
about that.
bombers, ejection seat. Fighter jets, yeah, cargo planes with that haul stuff. They don't have ejector seats.
Wow, you blow my mind so much. That's why I have you on here to educate
But
me on
anyways,
things
I
like
was
this.
okay with that. I was okay with that.
Okay.
I was okay with that. That's cool. So he jumps up, he lands. That's cool. But here's the problem: is they get in their Jeep, they drive away,
Right.
and a whole bunch of people show up. They could have saw those guys drive off and just followed them and figured out where they go because they weren't that far from the
Oh,
airport.
so here's where that common sense is out the window for the 80s
Yeah,
movie
it's
that
like
bothers you today. Hey,
for especially since he's a police detective. He's a police detective. He knows they got in a car and drove off, and they're still holding everything hostage. So they didn't go that far. John McClane should have known all he has to do is follow the tracks because it's snowing.
yes. Oh, very nice.
What kind of
Yes.
detective is this guy? Oh yeah, and
Well,
I also thought it was cool, but this is not. This should have told me these guys were kind of bad guys.
okay.
Because you know when John McClane finds that church and
Yes.
he calls the police station.
Yeah.
They start to write it down where it's at. They didn't even finish writing it down where it was at, and that colonel ripped that paper off and he goes out the door. That should have told us that he was a bad guy.
Oh, because he already knew.
He already knew where to go.
You know, I think that's pretty cool that they were still on time, right? Even though they never accounted McClane into this situation. Yeah. They show up on the church, right? Like, well, they probably planned for like a fake firefight just for the heck of it, but it's just a convenience that McClane.
Well, if they had to show up,
yeah.
in case because they figured they'd probably call somebody.
Oh.
See, they knew those guys would probably go around and call the military. Because really, how do you keep anything a secret? Plus, if an airplane crashes, all the news is coming.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to hear an airplane crash. You're going to see an airplane crash, especially in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about the fuel. I already tell you this is what also bothered me about the fuel. When he blows the plane up, it's part of the movie. You got to do it, okay?
Okay.
Because his wife needs the trail, the land, otherwise you can't finish the story.
Yep.
But in actuality, this isn't Washington, D.C. This is Washington, D.C., okay?
Okay.
This airplane is. Washington, D.C. is where the president lives.
Right.
So there's a lot of restricted areas. The Air Force controls that whole sky there.
Yes.
So they know so the Air Force knows where all the planes are all the time there.
Oh.
So if they're circling around, the Air Force is going to know.
You know what?
And if an airplane leaves in Washington, D.C., all they have to do is send a fighter jet. He could be there in like a minute and shoot the plane down.
I just want to bring up the
over the
irony
ocean.
that a lot of times, right, when there's a lot of times that happen on our show that I didn't like the movie, but after talking to you, I like it a lot better. But now we did a complete 180. Now you're
really?
bringing all this
want to
logic up, right? And now
I didn't want to make you dislike the movie. But
I probably won't. This is the where the Back to the Future effect comes in. With all this logic, we still love Back to the Future, but with all the logic, we should hate it. So I'm not gonna let that destroy this for me. I'm gonna Back to the Future.
But there's a big difference. There's a big difference to Back to the Future, though. Back to the Future is a work of fiction. It's supposed to be a work of fiction. This is a work of fiction, but it's based in reality. Come on, why would you steal an airplane?
But you twist it in a way where it's okay for Back to the Future, but not for Die Hard 2.
Well, because Back to the Future, you're really not going to use it. But let's put it this way: Back to the Future, you're not going to have a time machine work at all.
Well, I was gonna say like in Die Hard 2, like I don't think that would. Well, I don't know.
You're gonna have an airplane fly. They do that.
Enjoy this movie a lot because I one of the things that he said in this McClane said in this movie is like, how can the same thing happen to the same guy twice? I use it in the email a lot at work. Then I put the poster of this movie. How can the same thing happen to the same guy twice? Another basement, another vent. So I do want to say, like, you know, with this logic and science aside and things that make sense, like the Washington D.C. and the airspace stuff, I thought the writing was pretty good, regardless of location. I know that Peck showing up in the middle of the plane bothered me a little bit, even though it's a 5-hour flight. But the other thing I thought was really convenient is that Moth, the janitor guy, they actually have an inside man that knows the whole layout, which you can't account for everything, even if you're the bad guy. It's kind of like the beeping thing, the janitor knowing the whole layout of the whole airport and terminals and stuff. So I thought that was pretty good. I mean, the writing overall and how
they had to have him for part of the story.
They did, and also the brothers, the Lorenzo brothers, right? Is that Captain Lorenzo? Like in the beginning of the movie, it starts off bad by like, "Hey man, don't tow my car." It's like it's my mother-in-law's car. So that was really good. Like, of course, like everybody hates going to the airport anyway, and to this day, that's not a pleasant experience anywhere. And I can't believe if like it's I don't know. You probably do because you like Howard Hughes, right? I have no idea when the first airplane took off for like commercial flight for like traveling out of countries and stuff. But since then, this experience still sucks.
Yeah, I'm sure it's always will, and it never got better.
No, it would never
Even
get
with
better.
all this, even with all this technology, it should have got better.
Yeah, but no
But I
one
like him.
cares
What's
because
he say? He goes, technology peaked with the pizza.
oh, frozen pizza. Yes, I wrote that
With the
down.
frozen
Progress peak with frozen pizza. And I'm like, I thought progress peak with toilet paper, but like I will take that too. I love that line because he doesn't like technology. You know.
Yeah, yeah, he's not a big technology guy.
So with this,
Even though he uses the fax machine.
Yeah. Oh.
Of course, he had to have that girl to do the fax.
Yes, that was a really unnecessary thing where she's trying to hit on him. Like, oh.
Oh, I like that. I thought that was awesome.
That was.
I thought
awesome.
that. I actually like that scene where she tries to hit on him and he just shows her the ring because that shows her how cool he is. I was like, I want to be that cool. Because he just walks up there, and goes, "Hey, I need this stuff. I'll bring it back." And he comes back and she's all like, "Whatever. If you want to use this stuff, you want to call cops, you can do anything you want."
Yes.
It is funny because this is a little Beverly Hills Cop in a way because he's out of place and he shows his badge and he just acts like, "Hey, I belong here."
I know.
My jurisdiction's wherever I go, and I'm like, really, he just has no jurisdiction there. He can't do nothing.
Wait,
they could arrest him. You can't just pull out a badge and use a gun.
Hey, you know what? No, I just thought about you. May probably able to correct me on this because you probably like to overthink a lot of stuff. So they were landing in Washington D.C. Is it because they were having holidays at Holly's mom's place? Yeah, it's got to be, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Holly's mom's because the kids were at the I guess they were already there, and she must have took another trip because he took the mother's car. Remember, he goes, "Oh, she's gonna be so mad at me now because."
Because he got the call.
But he was up there he was up there to go get her. That's what he did.
Yeah, to go pick up from.
I don't know how he was going to get her. I don't know because he lost the car. He should have been go getting another car.
Yeah, no, he just I think
I guess but again he also just. But again, they could have.
He wanted to be there when his wife lands, but that's what I would have done. Like, oh, my car is towed. There's nothing I can do about it now.
Unless
go pick up my wife.
Unless of course he landed just ahead of her. But the problem is the grandparents that lived there already had the kids.
Yeah, they already had the kids. That's right.
So apparently her grandparents, and plus they didn't live there. They lived in Virginia, which is right next door.
Yeah, Washington D.C. is closest to the airport.
District of Columbia. It's between Maryland and Virginia.
So that's something I wrote. I talk about the writing, right? I thought writing the taser in was pretty good, so that way she could taste back.
Oh yeah.
And then the other thing,
my little dog walked funny for a week.
With modern technology, right? We've done this. This is 2023, and sometimes I can make a phone call on a plane with 2023 in technology, but somehow those earphones, I don't know what kind of connection they had, and how much would it cost to make a phone call on the airplane to page her husband, right? That's to call her back.
I don't know. I didn't ever fly on an airplane back then. I mean, it would just be more like a radio. It may have been just a better cellular because you got to remember they had satellite phone then.
Oh, it's got to be.
And those phones probably only worked when you're in a certain area. Like you're a certain distance because you got to remember they're up in the air, so it's like a satellite in a way.
Oh, you know what? They're up in the air.
You probably couldn't do it like overseas or something. If the Earth was curved or something.
So, it makes sense. Like once they're closer to the airport, like okay, we know the satellite.
Yeah, because the plane probably had antennas off on the underside of it for those phones.
Because you're right. Because like nowadays you could get Wi-Fi once you're on the plane. I'm pretty sure they have some kind of antenna just to.
Plus you gotta, and plus they show that I don't know if it really happens or not, but that plane was picking up a radio. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. They're watching TV or local TV on the airplane. So.
Oh, that's right. They were watching The Simpsons. Oh, because it was on Fox. So this is now owned by Disney.
Yeah, Die Hard is now on Disney.
Owned by Disney, but not on Disney Plus.
Well, we give it time.
Yeah, give it time. Eventually, Deadpool eventually will be on Disney Plus. Oh, I think Deadpool is on Disney Plus.
It probably is. That's the thing, though. Disney owns a lot of stuff that we can't see on Disney Plus. I wonder if they'll make another network or something.
Oh, I think on some of those, because it's writing the tail end of certain, I guess, providers. They can show Deadpool, maybe not in this country, but maybe Netflix can show it in Europe. So they have to wait for that to run out. That's what I find out when like, hey, how is that showing on? Yeah.
But the problem is, you really can't show all that like. You couldn't show this on Disney Plus, or are they?
Hey, they had Deadpool 2 on Disney Plus. Deadpool
Okay.
2
Well, I
is
didn't know that.
way
And
worse than Die Hard 2.
then they can show, yes, then they can show everything.
Like
We're just not getting
watching
to see
this and
everything.
watching Die Hard 2.
Well, aliens, they never brought aliens yet, I guess. Well, maybe they're waiting, like you said.
Like the
Maybe they're
rights
waiting
to
for it
run
to
out
run
for
out.
yeah. Because there's some
So,
countries,
so aliens will be a franchise. So Alien will probably be a franchise we get to keep watching.
Yes, we can keep watching. Yep. Whatever Disney touches.
Maybe.
Yeah. I just looked this up on the internet the other
Maybe.
day. I forgot which one Disney bought first, Marvel or Star Wars.
I think it was Star Wars first.
Nope, it's Marvel. I checked that just the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Marvel was bought on 2009, and Star Wars was 2012. Like 3 years later. Yeah. Yeah, wow. I remember it was Star Wars first too.
I always thought it was first. But,
yeah.
Oh well.
But then Iron Man came out in 2008, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes, 2008, 2009. I can't remember.
And Star Wars didn't get ruined until like
Oh, look at you.
That was funny.
Oh,
yeah. See, that's the thing though. Think about it though. Because of the Avengers and stuff, they were able to buy Star Wars. But because they bought Star Wars, they weren't able to buy anything else.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's a lie because they actually bought Fox.
Yes. Oh boy. So the other thing I had to look this up when he set the line. Got the new SOP for the DOAs from the FAA. I had to look up all those things. Well, I know what SOP is because it's pretty standard all over, even in my job, like standard operating procedure. But DOA I knew, in FAA, and when the way that he flowed off his tongue, right? It just sounds so natural. I just love that the cop part of him.
Okay, cool, because it sounds so silly to me sitting right here.
It is, right? It got the new SOP from the
well, it just sounds silly that you're telling me I'm all technical and you're the one that wanted to look that up.
I did, because I was like, did he make something like that up so that way it would confuse the coroner? But like, no, apparently he's saying real stuff. And I actually wrote down that being ejected, needing to eject out of the cockpit was pretty cool, but then you try and destroy that for me, but then you try and fix it at the same time.
I didn't try to fix it. I fixed it.
One of the things that bothered me, because I like to do this every movie, is that when he was coming out...
It may have been an airplane that you could eject out of. I don't know. I don't know that model airplane.
Yeah, I don't either. So one of the things that bothered me when he, before he went up to the general's plane, right, he came out with that heavy metal crate. Okay, it's a pretty small metal crate, and it's a really big plane. And the odds of the wheel running over that crate is quite tremendous.
Oh, I don't think there's going to be a crate right there. But I could be wrong. I don't have cars run cars or trucks run over grates in the road all the time. They'll fall in.
But then it's just that little spot, and the wheel of the airplane happens. You have to run over it when there's a whole bunch of other land around.
Then with all those big wheels. But it was a big old grate too.
Yeah, it's a big old grate. I mean, it is heavy. I do understand that, but it's just a small
and him knocked it. Yeah,
you know?
that's silly. But compared to the rest of the silliness I saw, I thought, okay, I'll go with it. Because I mean, there's all these tunnels under it. It was like it was Disneyland.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? For all the tunnels, so that way the people can get out there easier. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah, it would make sense, I guess, in a way, but I'm sure a lot of airports and like the baggage claim. But the problem is he had a big old giant shootout in the baggage claim area with nobody hearing it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean,
I thought that was.
I guess guns there are just not very loud as they are.
Or maybe that
world.
place is very loud. I mean, like, I never been in one of those because, like, if you think about it, a lot of the people work at the airport, right? They always have those ear protection things on.
Driving out on the runway.
Yeah, out on the runway, but then
out there where jets are.
I don't know how loud this place is either, so
this place was not in there. Oh, come on! You've been in the airport 100 times. You would hear that.
Yeah, I probably would.
Anyways, but we also got to remember this movie was made back before 9/11, so
yes, way before.
So there isn't all the nobody's going to come in there with a gun now. So
yeah,
but of course, they claim those guns were porcelain guns.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, they call it. I think they're plastic. They were plastic.
Do those work? Like, can you make a gun out of wood?
The whole gun's not made of plastic.
Oh, just certain parts.
Yeah, just certain parts. The gun will most likely be picked up on a detector. I think there's a myth. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's true. I know the whole gun's not plastic.
Oh, okay. Because I mean,
I
like,
think, but somebody did make a plastic gun once.
well, like a BB gun kind of thing.
No, like a gun that'll shoot a real bullet.
With bullets metal,
The bullet's gonna be metal.
but it's running around these plastic parts.
Yeah, it's
Huh?
coated in plastic.
Or coated in plastic.
No, the gun's plastic.
What's the whole gun is plastic,
The whole
but
gun was
but it
plastic.
can fire a metal bullet.
But it shoots a metal bullet.
Huh? Does it have enough power or force?
I
Is
don't
it?
know. I
Huh?
don't know. This is where we need a. Well, they made it. Somebody printed a plastic gun and it shot one bullet,
And that was it. And that was the end
but
of
it
that
had
gun.
but it had a metal firing pin in it too.
Oh,
So.
okay. So the metal is minimal. So
But it did ruin the gun too after you
Oh
shot.
yeah, after you shot it. Yeah, it's like a one shot deal. One of those.
But these pistols were Glock. I can't remember if they were Glocks or what they said they were. SIGs, Glocks. He said something. But
Oh.
the problem is, this was in the early days when guns were made out of polymers. Now guns are made out of polymers. It's normal. A gun like what he saw is a normal gun to us. It's just what you go to the store and buy when you buy guns.
Huh,
But the problem is, I don't think the gun will actually go through a metal detector, because you still got to have a metal barrel.
Right. Yeah. And
So,
metal something. It would go off if.
But
definitely.
I think in the way back then, people believed that these guns, because they're made out of polymers, would go through metal detectors. It's fine without being detected.
So it's the playing the tricks on how much we do not know.
Yes, more of yeah. It's
Just like most of these 80s movies.
But now we know nowadays. I mean, maybe it's something we should look up. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what. Because I remember when I was young, people were saying, "Oh yeah, those made out of polymers, they'll go right through a deal." But I'm thinking, no, I don't think they do. I think everybody detects them because all police carry them now. Almost everybody carries them. I mean, it's not like it's not like, because they made that pistol out like it's a military pistol. Oh, this is, and they said, I think they claim, oh, it's made in Germany or something. But the problem is, if it's the gun I think it is, it's not made in Germany.
Interesting.
It's not made in Austria or so.
Talk about Germany, right? Like the twins, when they go to daycare, this lady, I think she have a sister or a niece that is in the military. So she's based in German, right? And I forgot to keep sending you the picture.
Germany.
Yeah, Germany. So she had these like biscuits, like chocolate, sweet candy, and chocolate from Germany. I'm sorry, I'm trying to swallow.
Okay, cool.
From Germany, right? And I ate the chocolate. It's almond, like just like the
Almond Joy?
chocolate ball, but with almond, right?
Hershey's?
The almonds are pretty big. So when I eat this chocolate, I'm like, oh, this chocolate's pretty good. Then I ate chocolate from this country, America. Every chocolate I ate, it doesn't matter who makes it. Milky Way, Snickers, M&M, like the stuff that you sell for like charity and things. Every chocolate in America, it tasted so rich. It's like
It's sweeter.
It's a million times sweeter, I could say. But then when I would go back to the German chocolate, right, like, oh, I could actually taste the almond in this chocolate, and the chocolate is not too overwhelming from the American stuff. So now I gotta talk to that the daycare lady, like, hey, if you can you just keep giving me this chocolate? I'll buy them from you because it tastes a lot better than American produced stuff.
Okay, so you just bashed America in your little program.
Chocolate.
Hey, thank you.
Chocolate.
Hey, don't be making fun of anything that's from America.
Chocolate. I did post on Facebook my beer, cheese, popcorn.
Even Adam McClane would be punching in your face and say, America, F
Who's
yeah.
Adam McClane?
Oh, whoever this dude was.
Oh, John.
John McClane. I got the name mixed up. Yeah, John. His name's Adam.
When you say Adam McClane, I was like, is that a real person?
No, I don't. That's probably his name, Adam McClane. That's his cousin.
That's how this
John
franchise
McClane.
lives on.
John
Adam
McClane. But hey, he has 2 kids, right?
He does. Jack and Lucy.
And one of them shows up in the movies eventually.
Yep, eventually, yes. I just want to throw that out there. I mean, German chocolate is good. I'm about to go back to Hong Kong, so I can't wait to eat the chocolate there because I guess it's just the high fructose corn syrup.
Well, I'll tell you why German chocolate's so good, okay? Because they invented chocolate.
They did. I thought it was
No, I'm full of crap.
Okay.
Full of crap.
I thought it was the French or something. I can't. Oh,
No,
I can't
French
remember.
did it. No, chocolate comes from where's chocolate come from? I think it comes from like South America. Yeah, everything comes from China.
Yeah, it could be China.
No, but it comes from a bean. It comes from actually South America, dude.
Oh, the bean from South America? Then I'm just
cocoa
guessing here.
because we're a cocoa plant.
I can't wait to go back to Hong Kong to try the chocolate. Oh, the other thing I was going to tell you, I know we shot this early, and I think this releases, right before Christmas. Oh no, this we released on Christmas Day.
Really? Okay, good.
Yeah. So this episode.
Merry Christmas.
And they are releasing Die Hard in the theater, so I'm going to watch that next weekend. I never seen Die Hard on the big screen, so I told Heather about it, and she was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Where do you want to go?" I'm like, "Did you want to come with me?" Because I thought I was going to have to go by myself on a weekday morning just to watch it. She's like, "She will go with me." I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be so cool."
You hit the jackpot.
Oh, I can't wait. I love seeing movies with my wife. Obviously, I don't like it when I have to go by myself.
Yeah, I know. That's the way it should be.
She will watch Die Hard with me because she knows I love this movie.
That is a woman.
Not Die Hard 2, but I love Die Hard.
Okay, we got that. You don't have to say it. I got you. I got you.
It's the first time I heard the name Argyle.
Yeah, man.
John McClane.
You're gonna have to buy your wife some diamonds or so.
I might have to. You know what? She gets to have another birthday at a Disney theme park this year, okay? Last year, we went to Disney World in Florida. This year, we're going to Hong Kong. And then we're going to Disneyland. I guess you don't have... Then I guess you have to break that out then. We already picked the day, like, hey, when do you want to go to Disneyland? And my mom is like, hey, we're going to go.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
So wait till you get to Hong Kong.
And buy diamonds there.
Some of that cheap fake jewelry.
Rolexes.
Yeah, and give it to her at Disneyland. Well, not a Rolex. Don't buy that. You ought to. If you get somebody a Rolex, you already know that there's a good chance that's fake.
Oh, I know it's fake. I know exactly where to go.
Some of them do this.
I know
that's what I said. If somebody hands me a Rolex, I'm most likely going to think this is probably fake.
Yes.
Everybody's got a fake Rolex. Yeah. I'm talking about regular jewelry. Why would you get a woman a Rolex anyways? Who gets a woman a Rolex?
I don't know. People.
Why does she want to go to watch Die Hard with you?
Because
it's starting. Yeah, I was going to say. If you're getting a Rolexes, why is she going to watch Die Hard with you?
I don't know, but it's gonna be great. We're going to watch it late too, so it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
That sounds awesome.
I love Die Hard. Awesome. Yippee-ki-yay!
Yeah. Mofo.
Oh, let's see. What else I like to think? Oh, I did like the part they brought back where John McClane doesn't like to fly, and he has to fly in the helicopter.
Oh yeah, he's got a helicopter. And of course,
just to stop an airplane.
Of course, he jumps out. I did like that. Why do you do? Well, she was saying, "Why are you here?" And he goes, "Because I don't like to lose."
I don't like to lose either. I don't like to fly. What are you doing?
That's pretty good. I did like the fight. I did like the fight when he's on the wing.
On the wing, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, when he's on the wing, he fights that first guy, and the guy goes in the motor, and the motor's okay. He should have broke the motor.
It should have broke the motor, right?
It's usually a bird. Yeah, sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. But sometimes when birds go through the motor, it ruins it.
Sometimes it won't.
I don't know. I'm thinking there's been people go through motors that's killed them. I think it shuts the plane down, but I don't know. I've seen a military guy go right through. No big deal.
Hey, you know what?
It's a lot to go through, though.
80s action movie logic, okay?
If you could bring an airplane down, but yeah, come on. I think you could probably blow up an airplane if it was leaking on the runway, but if it's flying up in the air, I don't think that fire's going to jump all the way up.
You know what? I'm going to bring back that younger versus the older self, right? I think the more I think about it throughout this whole show that we're talking about, yeah, back then when the airplane blows up with the fire, I thought, that's pretty cool. But now, let's just say if I watch Die Hard, it's not called Die Hard 2. If they had the same thing to this day and I'm watching it at the age of 44 and I'll be like, dude, that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, hey, you got to remember, Sharknado came around. So
I've never seen Sharknado, so.
I haven't either, but I've seen some of the crappy movies on Facebook that they're showing that they've been made nowadays. I was thinking people are watching that and enjoying it. So anything goes.
Anything goes. You're right.
So basically, some of us are going up in the evolutionary scale while the rest of the world is going straight on down. So any logic works now.
Hey, you got to remember, back in the 80s, early 90s, no one really cared about this. No one's smart enough.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you, though. If somebody was to watch the 80s movies nowadays, it would make even more sense to them. They would think that is true.
Ooh, kind of like Red Dawn.
Yeah, Red Dawn would be like way true.
So if I show this to my kids, they would be like, "Hey, what that really happened? I should not show this movie right before we fly."
I was talking about dumb people. I wasn't talking about your kids.
Hey, you know what? Kids are dumb, okay?
Ooh. Well, then apparently you never saw Home Alone.
That's a different story. That's a good one to bring up. That is a very good point, Mr. McCaslin. I gotta give that to you.
Or Goonies.
Or Goonies.
Even
I
though
heard that.
even though somebody wrote a deal on Goonies, I think I even said about how did those kids outsmart all them adults? Because adults shouldn't be that stupid.
It's kind of like those movies, right? Like I never seen them, but it's like Spy Kids, Agent Cody Banks.
Never saw any of those.
Yeah, I never saw any of those. But like it starts a
Think
kid that saves the day.
Yeah,
Isn't it basically the same thing?
Yeah, well, and for a kid, if you're gonna get a kid to watch it, you might as well have a kid saving the day. That way, when they grow up, they can think. That way, when they grow up, they have all this self confidence, and then the world can crush them.
Maybe that's why my sons likes to watch what is it? Home Alone so much because it's the hero is the kid.
What is it called?
Home Alone. Like that's why like Ryan like always like to watch.
Oh, do they actually like Home Alone?
They do like Home Alone.
Oh,
but
then
then
I don't like Home Alone.
So because we're different now, you know, like because it's a Christmas movie, so they want to watch Christmas stuff. But the other thing is like Heather was like, you know when we talked about this, so when we were doing Elf, right? And Heather wanted to watch Elf, but the kids don't want to. The kids want to watch Home Alone.
But I don't blame them because who wants to watch Buddy?
Because like you know why we enjoy Elf? Because he's an adult and the kids don't understand their character as much as we do.
Yeah, he's an adult that acts like them.
Yes.
And they look at him and they're going, Buddy's dumb.
Yes.
And we're looking at him and goes, Buddy is special. Okay.
It's like what we said about
that is funny if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because kids would look at Buddy and go, he's dumb. And we look at him and go, he's special. But actually he is dumb.
He is very dumb. But it's like it's the way that he came from, right? It's his teachings. The aging thing is what I said about Star Trek.
I'm thinking Buddy was dumb, dude.
Well, what I said about Star Trek, like the older I get, the more I understand McCoy. When I was young, I was like, well, this guy's an a-hole. And now it's like, yeah, McCoy, but I said,
yeah, well, here's what McCoy would have said. He's dumb, Jim.
Yeah, he's dumb, Jim. Damn it, Jim. Yes. The other thing I thought it was silly. I mean, I don't know if this works, but probably will. But the icicle in the eye.
Oh, that was crazy. I saw that. I knew he was going to do that. When he looks up at the icicle and the guy's got that knife, he's like, I was thinking, huh?
I mean, like, it would probably kill him anyway.
They said those icicles fell off of houses and killed people before.
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
I've never seen it, and I've never seen it in the news, but I could believe it. I mean, I've seen icicles pretty big.
Yeah,
they're pretty sharp.
Also heavy too. Yeah, and heavy.
Yeah, well, think. Have you ever hit ice with your hand just to try bust
ice?
Oh yeah, it cuts you pretty good.
Yes,
it cuts you pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if it'll cut you, just a sheet of ice will cut you. Then yeah, I think of that icicle right.
I think it's right. I thought, but then the makeup from it looks pretty bad. Like
yeah, it did when he fell over. But I was okay with it because I thought it was pretty cool. He still stabbed in the eye because
it was pretty cool.
What I was thinking. Because you know what I was thinking about when he was trying to stab him with a knife.
What?
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I remember when that German stabbing that dude, and he's just telling him to say, just.
He does this slowly.
Oh, yeah, he's basically telling that dude, just chill, let me stab you. That's the funniest thing with Private Ryan. They asked that German guy, tell him, just let me stab you. It'll be okay. It'll be over.
Yep.
Yeah, just. And the same thing though, because it happens again because they really like that stabbing stuff because. That shows that scene on the airplane when the colonel's trying to stab him too. Remember they're on top of the airplane trying to stab him and he knocks him off the airplane. But the funny thing is, I know it's in the credits. If you watch all the credits, those knives, I guess, were made by somebody in Weatherford, Texas.
Really?
Yeah, because it says something knives courtesy of somebody in Weatherford, Texas. I was like, wow,
that's pretty cool. So it's like specially made just for this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that actor was actually a senator or a Republican. You know, the guy that ran the control tower, the old guy, the country guy.
Really?
Yeah, he was in worked for the government. But the only place I ever saw him, I've seen him in a lot of the movies, but the movie that stood out to me the most where I remember that guy, Hunt for Red October.
Oh, I never seen that.
Remember, he's the captain of the Enterprise. Yeah, he's the captain of the Enterprise.
Captain of the Enterprise.
Okay. That was the Enterprise. The aircraft carrier in Hunt for Red October was the USS Enterprise too.
We want to watch the Hunt of Red October.
I love Hunt for Red October. I'm not gonna say it's like a super action movie, but I just love Hunt for Red October.
Wait, is that an action movie or a thriller?
I would say it's more of a thriller because it's not like way out too much action. It's more of a wait and go because it's on the submarine. I mean, not a lot happens on a submarine. You ever play that game called Silent Service? It's a submarine game on Nintendo.
No.
Basically,
Oh, yes, I have.
you better want to sit there several hours before you find anything to shoot
Yep,
because
I
that's the
have.
way it is.
I
It was
played
like
it on my other channel.
very
It
realistic
sucks.
because I mean, come on, the ocean's a big place. You're lucky if you come across another ship, even if you're traveling on their shipping lanes. You're gonna be a while
Yes.
because I mean, nobody wants to get sunk by a submarine, especially if they know you're out
So
there.
I gotta put that down. The Hunt for Red October. We gotta make a month of our favorite movies because we've done this for a couple of years now, and we still haven't done Fight Club. And Fight Club is still my number one favorite movie of all time.
I've always been asking myself every time I think about movies. I was like, why haven't we done Fight Club?
We will.
Tell me that's your favorite.
I always scheduled it next year.
I barely even saw that movie.
Oh, I love it. I still do. It's just the theme, not anything else. But yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. Because I want to rip that apart. Just we should
you
do it on your,
that.
We should have done that on your birthday.
I scheduled it for my birthday.
This time we're not going to wait till your birthday to watch.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
I'm not going to rip it apart because I saw it. I liked it.
I do always truly enjoy like the things that you rip apart, like the overanalyzing that you bring to the table of our show.
Oh, sometimes it's just too much. I should stop myself.
No, I enjoy it a lot. That's why I have you on here.
I don't know.
Like you were my guy to do this all like, oh, you know what? I either love this from what Shane is saying, or like, oh, I hate this guy. there's no in between. It's one extreme to the other. That's it. Like I really like this. I really hate this.
You basically flip a switch really quick during the middle of the movie.
I do.
Like, I hate this movie. Then I can turn a switch, and you're just like, yep, I love this movie. This movie's good.
Because another opinion comes up, right? And I gotta take it in. I gotta absorb it. I'm like, no, I hate this guy.
Well, I think that shows you that movies are a form of art.
Oh, I highly agree with that.
Because they're subjective. Because I mean, you can go look at a painting. You're looking at a painting. You like the painting. I could come over there to the art museum and look at it next to you and say, "Huh, looks like somebody sneezed all over that." True. And you go, you touch it and you go, "Yeah, that is snot. Yeah, that is snot. Yeah." Well, I mean, everybody's going to see something. But that's the thing is, everybody sees something differently.
Yes,
we look at this movie
differently too.
Yes. You look at John McClane and you go, "Huh, this guy is one awesome dude." I look at John McClane and I go, "Hey, why didn't you pick up that chick at the counter?" Because she was like, "Yay." You're like, "No."
Yeah.
No.
She might be 80s hot, okay, but she's not 90s, 2000 hot. I don't know.
Well, probably not now because there's no telling how old she is. But yeah. Again, for all we know, she's somebody famous.
Good looking, yeah.
There's a lot of people famous. I mean, even though I thought there was supposed to be some other actress in this movie, but I never saw her. But hey, I know she's on the credits.
Before we go, besides John McClane, right? I think the other true hero of this movie was the chief engineer.
The chief engineer, or the guy that kept having ideas, because he even had the ideas of how to do it.
Yep. About finding the tower and everything.
Cate Blanchett was supposed to be in this movie.
Kate, really? As what?
But I don't remember what she does.
Really?
She was in this movie.
Well, I put another thing on here, but you never seen that movie. Like the country they use, Valverde, is another fictional country they use in Commando.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So it's probably a Hollywood fake country.
It's not. It's a Joe Silver thing.
Okay, so Joe Silver.
Because Joe Silver is the producer. Yeah, I guess he loves that Joe.
Oh yeah, I want to point out the director is Renny Harlin.
Yeah. Yep.
What did he direct? Well, we know he directed that pirate movie. Remember he directed that pirate movie? He married Gina Davis.
Oh, Cutthroat Island? Is that
Cutthroat Island, exactly. I actually liked Cutthroat Island.
I'd never seen it.
I mean, we should watch Cutthroat Island one day.
Way
you can see if you like it or not. Because the movie bombed, and that was the end of his career.
I remember the movie bombed, and then I remember like before I met you, Cody told me that was pretty good. Like, hey, I don't know why this movie bombed, but this movie is pretty good.
But again, there's a lot of good movies that bomb because people just don't want to go see it. I mean, if you can't get it out to, John Carter was awesome, and nobody went and saw that. There's tons of movies to go see. But the problem is, most people only have so much time. Most people have only so much money.
And also depends on how the production company markets it too.
Yeah, and how they market, because you got to think. I'm sitting there and saying, I got $12 and I only got this much time. Which movie am I going to see? And usually, all the movies come out at the exact same day. Oh. So it's like, which Marvel movie? I mean, you got 2 Marvel movies. Pick one from Sony, one from Disney, and then you got some other movie. So that other movie's not going to get watchable no matter how good it is. That
is true. It depends on what it is. So I'm so glad that I worked at a movie theater when I was in my
Yeah, you were lucky. You got to see a
yeah.
lot of stuff.
I got to
Unless
see
you,
a lot of stuff.
but the problem is, did you pay for a lot of those movies? Working at the theater?
No. And
Well, see, that's
sometimes
the
we
thing.
get
You
the
weren't.
film first, and then we get
Yeah.
to like
Well, see,
the
that's
movie
what I'm
comes out
paying.
on Friday.
So,
Like, hey, you can watch it on Tuesday
so
night.
you
I'm
weren't
good.
paying. So you weren't paying. You weren't helping. You're not part of the money. So it didn't matter if you watch it like 50 times that week. You didn't help that movie not bomb.
I did not. Yeah, I might or might not.
Hey, I don't know.
That's
why
hard
we're
to
even
figure out
going
that
there.
math. I'm thinking
Well,
about
they
what you
can't
just
count.
said.
But see, the problem is movies. But the thing is, movies. If they bomb, they're counted by how many people go to the theater on this day and how much money is spent.
Yep.
That's how that's judged. That's the sad thing. Is how it's judged. But the problem is, nowadays a lot of movies people sit here and we get it on video or we get it on direct TV, so that movie you really can't tell if that movie bombed or not.
No, are you talking about like when it streams at the same time?
Yeah, when it streams at the same time, because I mean then you're just doing it because a lot of people are paying by the month, so you may have viewed it. Yeah, maybe.
Well, Disney
Or it may
trying to
have
do
just been
that thing
running.
where they I did that with Black Widow. I went to see
Yeah.
it at the theater, then I also paid for it at home.
Yeah, yeah, but the problem is I mean you can't really give it, oh, this wasn't a very critical hit or anything,
Yeah,
because I'm
you
like,
can't
well,
judge it by that because that's
because
how
there's a
they
lot
did
of
it.
people because a lot of people would just go up to your house and sit there on the couch with you, watch it, and I'm like, well, they didn't collect any money from that guy.
No.
So there could have been like 1,000 people watch this movie and loved it, but they
They
didn't get
wouldn't know.
counted. They
Right.
didn't get counted at the box office. But, well, that's Hollywood
So
for you.
before we go, I always question that, like, hey, when we watch, like, before when I was still recording TV shows on a VHS tape, right? How did they count viewership?
They
Like
didn't.
those,
They estimated.
I mean, how do you even go about estimated either?
Well,
I,
they got homes that have something on the TV that tell you how many people are viewing it.
really?
Yeah, I think it's called the Nelsons or something.
Hmm.
Yeah. So where regular TV airs, they have Nelson people. They have something on the TV. It tells them what shows they're watching.
Oh, I guess I didn't think that
Or
they
they
would know
call
what
you.
channel.
Or they call you. But
Oh,
see,
to take a
but it's still
survey.
estimation. Yeah, it's like a survey, but it's an estimation. Let's say this many people. This guy counts as this many people. It's like when they do elections. They don't call everybody. They call a lot of people. And they ask you how you're going to vote, and depending on how many of these people are going to vote this way in this area, they may go, "Oh, we called 5 people in this area." I'm not saying the truth. This is, but like they call 5 people in this area. Well, they go, "Oh, this guy's probably going to get 100 votes in this area." Then.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that example up because when I was in college, I was taking this government class, right? And then they talked about like what is it? Before Eisenhower, not Eisenhower, who was the FDR?
Yeah.
So FDR was Democrat, right? And then I forgot who the other person is. It's not famous. It doesn't matter because FDR was elected 3 times. And then they call a whole bunch of these people, and it seems like the poll was like, oh, the Republicans going to win. Yeah, because all you did was call that area, right? They were all voting Republican.
Yeah,
that's what
they all guess.
Yeah, they all guess.
Yeah, they guess.
And they get that data too.
It's like when they showed that he got beat by somebody else, they decided was it Dewey? Something Dewey, I think, is the one that's supposed to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't. They went ahead and called the election before it was over.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
remember they went ahead and printed the headlines and everything. And I think they still do that. I think they already have 2 headlines running.
Yeah, so they do that, right? So me and Heather talked about that. Like we were watching like the World Series from the Rangers. So at Game 7 or Game 6 or whatever, that means they always have like the world champions of either the Rangers or Arizona all printed out. So it depends on the outcome of the game. So they could pass out the merchandise immediately. Like as soon as they win the game, right, the players wear the hats. And I'm thinking like, where do those hats go for the losers? Like, hey, we're the World Series champions for Arizona. Like they just burn.
Hey, I'll tell you where they go.
What?
No, they go to an alternate reality where they did win.
It's the multiverse of madness of losers in sports.
Twilight Zone is formed right there.
Maybe. I'm thinking like, wouldn't it be a certain collector's item? Like, hey, Arizona didn't win the World Series in 2022. Why are you wearing that hat?
I bet it is. I bet you they try to destroy it, but I bet you some of that stuff gets away.
Oh, gets away, yeah. But
it's probably gonna be like they probably take it out to a landfill and bury it, so that way you can go out there and dig it up, just like those ET games for Atari.
I love that you brought that up. It's so random. And before we go, the other thing I want to bring up is like, we would talk about the ratings, right? Because when I was watching Friends, recording it through VHS,
Yeah.
you said they guessed. The only way that back then they could get an accurate count is pay-per-view stuff. But then, like
pay-per-view,
you said,
they would.
but like I ordered pay-per-view boxing a long time ago. But then if I have a home, I have 50 people over, but they only want to count, but they can only guesstimate like, hey, maybe this guy had a party, so we can roughly say like maybe 10 or 15 people instead of just one guy.
Well, they did it by I think they did it by.
Especially
the problem is though, they get one of those things on the TV. You go, my household has this many people in it. It has this many people over this age. I have this many children and stuff. Yeah, it's basically a census in a way. And then they use that information. They go, well, then you're rating most people that's 30 going to watch this show then. And they're rating well that way. They probably did a lot of surveys, but like I said, they had they had Nelson, what they called Nelson ratings.
Yeah.
I remember people that people sign up for. They have like a thing on their TV or something, or they fill out paperwork or whatever. And they just told them what they watched and they used that off that. So it's based on that.
And
so
you know what?
You like, let's say me and everybody in Winners or everybody where I'm at, they got put on there.
Oh, and now even with modern technology, it's the same equation applies because I'm watching a movie on Netflix. There was 10 people at my house, but they only know that like, well, Lamb's account at least watch it. Like there's only certain people watch, but we'll just rough number it to make it look.
But sometimes they're counted by they're not counted by people. Sometimes they're counted by households.
Oh, household. Yeah.
A lot of the household. A lot of stuff is the household watches this by TV viewership.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm about to wrap this up. So until next time, yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Tensai Reviews. If you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next one.